It is December. We are midweek through the first week of December, Friday the 8th. There's obviously still more stuff to be doing, so I'm going to be training on Saturday, but I just want to give a quick rundown of what's been going on this week so far. So I won a race, got silver, 60 and a 200. To see more of that race, click the cards. I'll just give a quick summary. So the 200 is very important, but what is important is the 60 finals where I got that silver. I ran 7:17, which obviously is not what I'm wanting, considering the fact that I want to be going sub 7 next month. And my coach was saying to me before I ran the 60 that I could go sub 7, and looking back I could, but there was just one real big problem, which was my first 20 meters, which is what I've dedicated this entire month to correcting. This entire month will be me focusing on getting an average 20 meters, and probably not even just this month, every month going forwards, because I could have easily gone sub 7 and I didn't because my starts are just so bad. 20 to 40 I'm great. 0 to 20, nah, it's just I might as well just do it standing start, forget blocks. So this entire month will just be me focusing on trying to get that 20 down and trying to fix any problems I have, considering that after this month 12 weeks will be done and we need to just review how everything was going, because I broke this down into 3 blocks of 12 weeks. We need to see how much improvement I made during this 12-week period, which is obviously very, very important. Next week I'm gonna have another race and I'm just gonna try and it's 260s again, and I'm gonna try and fix that first 20 meters, so hopefully I can run sub 7 then. It's going to be on the 17th of December. If I can do that, that'd be great. Reason being is I've already said if I do not go sub 7 in January, I'm going bold. I have to cut my hair off. I made a bet and I have to stick with the bet, and so does the person I made the bet with. If he doesn't cut his hair off, if he doesn't go sub 7. But anyway, I don't want to go sub 7. I want to go sub 7. I don't want to lose my hair though, so we're going to work on that. So for this month, the things that we're going to be focusing on is mainly my weak areas. So anything that I was bad at last season and anything that I'm still bad at this season, or new things that I found. So basically everything I was bad at last season. There hasn't been any new revelations that have been showing up. The things that I'm still bad at are still there. So mobility, I'm not bad at that, but it's not great. It could be better. It's quite good. I have made improvements, but it could be better. So mobility, my strength, not so much in major muscles but minor muscles. The one I'm really focusing on right now is the glute medius, because the glute medius is very weak. So imagine this is me standing up right now. When I go to do anything really, like movement, my hip drops down. I'm pretty sure it's my left glute med that's weak. My hip just drops down and twists. And if I can strengthen my hip, there'll be less energy, because if that happens, there's an energy leakage. So if I can stop that from happening, I'll be able to produce more power without leaking any. Or that's what energy leak is, obviously. Along with that, it's just the first 20 meters, trying to get out of the blocks. My positioning in the blocks is fine. Me out of the blocks, first step is all right. Last month, it was all right last month. This month is a bit different. It's a bit, I want to say it's all right. I'd say it's quite good. It could use some improvement. So the positioning is like this last month. Now my coaches said we're closer to that, which is great. This is my legs and this is my body. What we really want is my body to be straight like this, so I'm able to produce as much power as possible. Obviously, it's not going to be a quick fix, but if I'm able to get that down, my first 20 meters should be average. Finally, I just want an average start. I don't even want a flying start. I just want an average start. And I find it kind of funny looking back on how I actually improved as a sprinter in general. If we look at last season, it was me working on 50 meters to 100 meters. And it took me the entire season to get that down. It was already quite good, but there was a few tweaks that needed to be made. Not quite good, it's actually quite poor, but there was a few tweaks that needed to be made so that what I already had was actually finally good. Got that down, and then I spent September, October, and a bit of November working on my dry phase. And now December, we're working on just 20 meters that's left. So if we can get this down, I'm expecting something amazing when I go to outdoors. So Tuesday there was no footage because it was just some speed limit and stuff, 120s. Nothing fun. Thursday was sled pulls where we're actually working on that first 20 meters. Because of my race next week, I've been keeping the training relatively low. I've mainly been going to the gym Monday and Tuesday, and then the rest of the week I've just been doing nothing. I could be going a bit more, but I just want to make sure that there is no excuse. I can't just say, oh, I'm muscularly fatigued. That's why I'm not able to perform at my best. And plyometrics, because of the run that I had during September and October, they haven't been dropped completely, but The ones that were in the gym have been dropped. Though when it comes to plyometrics, we have moved into a new training block. We actually did that in the last week of November, and we're finally going to be starting to do, okay, that's a bit. We're finally going to be able to start doing bilateral plyometrics. Looking at it here, I don't know if this is supposed to be weighted or not. It probably was, but I can't get away with doing this without weight, because I feel like what happened was before, when I was adding weight, I probably scaled up too fast. Not so much like me building up weight, but just the amount of weight that I put on, and my body wasn't ready for that. So I think it'd be easier for me if I just didn't use weight, because you can still make a lot of improvements with plyometrics without using weight, so there's not much of a need to add weight. I thought adding weight would be able to allow me to make greater adaptations, which naturally it would, but I probably added too much. So for now, we can just do the same things but without weight. So from next week, I'm going to be doing plyometrics again, I believe. Even though I have a raise, I highly doubt that the plyometrics are going to ruin me, especially if I'm not using weight. All it's really going to do is benefit me in the long run. So I'll bring back the plyometrics but without weight. So that's great. There's only 3 exercises on Tuesday, Thursday, and 2 exercises on a Saturday, so it won't be too intense. 2 of the days, Thursday and Saturday, are bilateral, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. Beyond that, it's mainly just stuff that I've been doing in the gym. We've done a decent amount of stuff in the gym. For this month, there was 2 goals that I set. First one was to be able to hip thrust 300 kg, and the second one was to be able to explosively hip thrust 230 kg. Big goals, big numbers. Before this, my hip thrust, it wasn't really a PB, but it was just where I was. It was 225. The reason why I say it wasn't a PB is because my numbers jumped up too quickly. I was originally hovering around 100, I think it was, and then out of nowhere 100 became really easy, and then I just kept adding the weight again and again. This was last year, again and again and again, and then I realized I got to 225 and I didn't want to know how high I could go. But I know obviously my PB was higher than that. So I decided this year, let me just figure out what the actual number is. Let's stop playing around. My goal is obviously 300 kg, so let's just see how close I am. And I went to the gym, figured that out, and prized. We ended up being able to lift 290. I tried 300 and the bar just wouldn't move, which is quite unfortunate, which makes sense though, because I barely got 290. But the fact that I'm only 10 kg off of the goal that I set for myself is quite good. Though I've only really got 1 week to actually try and get that hip thrust of 300 kg, considering the fact that I'm not going to be going to the gym once I leave uni. I'm only doing gym whilst I'm at uni. In the explosive hip thrust of 230, I never tried that. Along with that, I tested out my upper body maxes. Obviously I don't bench, which I might actually end up doing, but I tested out my pull-ups and my dips, and I was surprised. Last year, I didn't get on camera, but I was able to do 60 kg, 1 rep 60 kg for pull-ups. That hasn't moved. Understandable though, because I have been neglecting pull-ups in favor of chin-ups, but I'm going to be bringing my pull-ups back into training properly, doing the next 12-week block. My dips, I've been working really hard on those. So they're also at 60 kg as well. Originally, they were at 40, and I managed to make a 20 kg jump. Near the end of this 12 weeks, I think it started 4 weeks ago, I was actually moving that PB 40 for reps, which is quite impressive. So I'm really happy with how my strength gains have been going so far, just throughout this entire 12-week block already. Obviously, strength doesn't mean anything if you can't convert it into power, and if that power can't be converted into speed. But the fact I'm able to be making so much improvements in general is making me really happy. We've already got, if I just look at all these ticks, we've already got a reverse squat of more than 50 kg unilaterally. We clean and jerk to 100 kg, and if things didn't go bad, we could have done more, maybe a bit more than that. My snatch, I tested that out as well. That was 65. It was 65 last season, so that hasn't really moved at all, which is quite unfortunate. But my deadlift, we've got 200 kg. I still have that video of me where I was just trying to move 200 and it just wouldn't move. So the fact that we're making so much improvements is really good. I'm expecting some good stuff next season. I need some great stuff though if I really want to hit the PBs that I'm after in the season. But so far, this 12 weeks has gone very, very well, and hopefully it'll keep going that way. The last week is actually this week. So after this week, and actually if you look here, you can actually just see that there's only 1 day written out. I did go to the gym on, I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, I went to the gym on Tuesday, and that's where I tested out the upper body movements. Today's Friday, so we're there. But I haven't been going just to try and keep the load down, so I don't face any problems, because I have been feeling my back when I'm stretching, warming up and stuff. It kind of hurts my lower back, which is quite bad. I'm gonna have to straighten that up, so I'm gonna have to include something in the next 12 weeks, most likely back extensions to focus on that. But I don't want to do too much and then break myself, because we're just starting. I don't want to break too early. But as you can see though, this says 12 weeks, which means the next page is the next 12-week block. So next week I could actually start the next 12-week block, but I won't because I have exams. So the next 12-week block, as it's supposed to be, actually will be starting in January when I come back to uni. And I haven't written down the exercises that I'm be doing here, but the main focus on the next 12 weeks is transfer. It's getting the strength and mobility that I built up in the first 12 weeks into power, whilst maintaining the mobility and obviously continuing to refine my sprint form. But the focus when it comes to strength is mainly on the snatch, because my next main goal in the gym is to be able to get 100 kg snatch. My snatch is terrible, it's poor, and I'm already able to do 65. And I've been focusing mainly on the clean and jerk, because if you just look at this week and look at the week before that as well, you'd see that I'm in the gym quite consistently on Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes Wednesdays. But Thursday and Friday, I just disappear. And Wednesday and Thursday is where I actually snatch. Not to say I'm skipping the gym, but I have found that I can actually avoid a deload week if I don't go to the gym on certain days. Not specific days, but just I don't train all 5 days. I just give myself some breaks. So I'm considering implementing that for the next 12 weeks. So I'm still just all over the place thinking on, do I add exercises here? Do I leave this as a free day? All these other stuff. But once I get that down in my head, I'm gonna write down what I'm gonna be doing. But the main focus is really just on the snatch and getting all the strength more into power. So not just focusing on the snatch, but focusing less on accessory movements and more on just the Olympic movements, trying to increase the amount of sets. Okay, so it's January the 2nd. So Happy New Year. Well, today anyway. I don't know when this is gonna get released. Hopefully today, tomorrow. So December's done now, obviously. So as a quick look back, so the goals for the month: 300 kg hip thrust. I never actually went beyond 290. I never tried again. So that's a technical fail. I might actually be able to do it. So I'll try again in January, not as a goal, but just to see if I can actually do it. It was so long to set that up, so I might not even do that. The 230 hip thrust explosively, I did that. I actually did that whilst I was working my way up to 290. About 230 or 240 was the heaviest. I was able to explosively hip thrust. The reason why I never counted it as a tick before was because when I say explosively hip thrust, I'm thinking be able to do it for like about 10 reps, but that's just wrong. But I could do it explosively, so that does count. Along with that, obviously this month I had my 2 races where I had 4 60s in total and 1 200 meter. The PB I had 717. I never beat that again when I went to do the sucklift 60s, though I did run 718 and 719. The fact that I didn't PB is a bit unfortunate, but looking back, I mean, sprinters don't PB every single race, so it'd be stupid as a sprinter who knows you can't PB every race to complain about the fact that he's not PBing every race. Quite entitled. But what I did realize is that I'm quite close to a personal best, because I already said the 717 that I ran wasn't my best. I could have ran faster, and the fact that I'm able to get 718 and 719, which are 0.01 and 2 respectively, away from my PB, should go to show I'm quite close to breaking 750, and I just need to be able to. The only problem that I had was my first 20 meters, I'd say even 30 meters, is nothing good. So I've always been working on my glute meets like I said I would, and they're much stronger. I have a video where, probably on the screen right now, where I'm showing the progress that I made in my glute meets. So if, just to make it make sense, I haven't actually looked at my glute meets and tried to assess how weak they are, since I just realized that they were a problem for my coach when I first met him. So I can't say for certain how I would have looked before when I was sprinting, but what I do know is when you have weak glute meets, your legs tend to buckle inwards, and if you balance on one foot, you might lean either side. So I tried to exaggerate that just to show how big the difference is. And then I showed me just standing normally and then going through different planes of motion whilst also kind of simulating sprinting. But I've been putting in the work, strengthening my glute meets, and I'd say they're way stronger than before. One thing my coach highlighted to me was the positioning of my feet. My feet naturally curve outwards when I'm just standing, and he said that's also because of my weak glute meets. And if I try and have my feet just parallel to each other, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. When I first forced my legs into the position, it felt weird and uncomfortable, even months after that, because my glute medius just weren't used to being in that position. But now I can just turn my feet in and they feel normal. So I'd say, whilst I don't have a measurable way to see how much my glute medius have improved, because I didn't use weights to improve my glute medius, unfortunately. I really don't know what I was doing there, but I have made progress and I should see that in January, but that's a video for next month.
This type of training is boring, it's repetition, but it's the only way to do it. You think about running, how can you run faster?
Doing it over and over.
Repetition, doing it over and over and over again. The brain works out. That's the thing. Who taught you to walk? You did. It didn't happen instantly. Jevon wasn't calling one day and standing and walking. It didn't happen that way. It took you a long time to work it out. You wanted to stand, so you were doing all sorts of movements, and the brain was trying to engage with that. When you started walking, you didn't magically crawl one day and the next day you were walking.
It's like a walk number 4, the less than walking.
So it takes a while for that to happen. Some people, as I said, some people can crawl and then a couple of weeks later they're walking. I was taking a long time. So I think that
by January, I should be able to do this. It shouldn't be too much. I'm just going to do it today.